Hi everyone, welcome back to CrochetRocks. It's Tracy. So I've got a little bit of a yarn haul to show you, and I'm going to show you some equivalents of the expensive yarns or more expensive yarn counterparts. So I went out today, have a little look in B&M, and I didn't hold out much hope that they have anything new for me, because the last few times I've been in there they haven't, and they didn't in Poundland either, but I had more of the new ones, but I've already bought them. So what I decided to do was just to show you some of the yarns that are around and kind of their equivalents. So in B&M they had more of this, and I did buy a bit more. I've had this before. It's called Trim Feather Touch, and it is quite thick. If you look, it's quite hard to crochet with, but I have a plan of something that I want to make with it, and so I bought a few different yarns today to make that project. So it's by Trim, it's Feather Touch, and it's 100 grams luxury knitting yarn. Doesn't say whether it considers it to be chunky or mega chunky or what. It's just huge and fluffy, and I guess you could say it's kind of on a par with chinchilla. You know, the chinchilla yarn, I think, is a James C. Brett yarn. I do have some of it, but I don't know where I put it. I thought it was on these shelves, but it doesn't seem to be there. But what does this say? Let's have a look. Upside down. Of course it is. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't. 30 meters is the total length. It's 100% polyester, hand wash only, which you'd kind of expect because it's fur. It says its colour is cream, and that's all you get. It's £3 per ball. So last time I went to Hobbycraft and I bought chinchilla, it was a lot more expensive than this. Absolutely a lot more expensive. But I did actually buy it somewhere else, and this is a James C. Brett Baby Twinkle, and I was quite surprised. I bought this in one of those anything shops, you know, where they pop up and they've just got, you know, just sell absolutely anything. Buckets, lighters, cat beds, you know, everything. And they happen to have a bit of yarn in there. So looking at it, it's very, very similar stuff. Very similar in colour. And the only difference being, whereas that one was £3, and I did check my older stock to see if it had gone up, and it hadn't. It was £3 when I bought it the first time, so that's not too bad. But this was £3.99, and this is one of those anything shops that tend to be a bit on the cheap side, whereas if you bought it from a yarn supplier it might be a bit dearer. But this is 66% acrylic. Just because I have trouble with S's after my operation, decided to have a lot of them for me to say. 29% polyamide and 5% polyester, but this is machine washable, whereas the other one isn't. And this shade is BTP 22. 270 meters or 292 yards, so you get an awful lot more. 30. But I don't understand how, because they look more or less identical, don't they? Where's that one with the bit sticking out? Look at that. How? It doesn't. I suppose this does feel heavier. Maybe it's more tightly wound. But that's the difference. 30 meters. 200. What? I can't believe that. Really? Seriously, 270 meters. So there you go. Doesn't always pay you to say, oh, B&M cheaper, let's grab it. It's £3, £3.99. Way more on the ball. However, I've got quite a lot of these because I bought them before I bought this one. But I just thought it would be a good sort of contrast to show you. This one's considered Baby Twinkle. I don't honestly know why it's called Twinkle. There's no glitz in it. It's just fur. On first glance, you know, they look identical, don't they? But I guess this one is denser. Whether I think it feels that there's that much more, I don't know. There is definitely less on this, but would never have thought it would be that much less. That is kind of outrageous in comparison, isn't it? So anyway, I have a project in mind for that, which will get eaten up. So then they had in there the Trim Serenity, which a lot of you will recognise because they have this in Poundland. And although it's not comparing an expensive shop with a cheap shop, it's comparing two cheap shops, there's not many places that do this chunky yarn. So this one is called Super Chunky Knitting Essentials, and you get 3 of these 50-gram balls for £2. But this is Trim Serenity 100 grams for £2.50. So you can already see that you will get 150 grams for £2, or you'll get 100 grams for £2.50 in B&M. And they're actually pretty much identical yarn. So obviously B&M have put their prices up recently. £2.50 is not a massive amount for a ball of yarn, but it won't have masses on it, obviously, because it is super chunky. Upside down, of course it is. It's 97% acrylic and 3% viscose, and there's 100 meters on here. This is machine washable, this one from B&M, and it's called Cream. They do like that name, don't they? Because that's what they called the other one. So already you can see 150 grams, £2. 100 grams, £2.50. Better value in Poundland. So the only thing wrong with Poundland, as we all know, they've started to show a little bit of the size in now, but they never used to. I don't believe this will have any yardage on it at all. Upside down. Oh dear. This is called oatmeal, not cream. So we have a little bit of, it is machine washable. But yeah, this is one of the old balls. I've had this a while. No yardage, but you know what? A lot better value, I would say, than even from B&M. The only drawback is they don't always have it. You know what it's like, those of you from the UK, if you go in Poundland, they'll either have loads and loads of yarn to choose from, or they'll have a little bit, or they'll have a little bit of what you want and loads of what you don't. But sometimes you're lucky, and if you see it, grab as much as you need. That's all I will say. So this one caught my eye. I have shown this before, I think. Now this is I've made with this, I made a baby bobble, not the baby bobble, I made the baby box granny out of glitz yarn from B&M. And this is the Little Dreamers, or Little Dreams, baby sparkle knitting yarn, machine washable, and it's 100 grams. It's called Grey, or 369760, or shade S000068. And it is a lovely grey with a lovely little sparkle. Now, I made a scarf, a lacy scarf on my channel. I'll put a link at the end of the video to that scarf. It's very, very easy. It's very nicely, when it makes up, it's really nice. But it is a mega easy scarf to make. And I made it with this one. And as you can see, it's very, very similar, just a little bit of a different colour. This is more of a steely kind of silver, whereas this one's more of a grey. But there's not a great deal in it. So you could easily substitute a cheaper yarn. But this one is King Cole Baby Glitz. And this cost me £3.29 per skein. But it was from one of those sell anything shops. Not the same one as before. This one was in Chatham. I bought it ages ago. But I used to buy this in a shop a yarn shop which was closed down since the pandemic. But at least I can still get it, but pretty soon I'll be stocking it in my own shop, so that'll be cool. But this is 97% premium acrylic, 3% polyester, and approximately 319 yards or 290 meters. The shade is silver and it's 3093. And I really like this. It's lovely and soft. That's the only thing it's got going for it above this. This is not premium acrylic. This is just acrylic. 95% acrylic, 5% metallic. 300 meters. Slightly less on the ball, but you know, you would wear this. You wouldn't hate it around your neck. Obviously, this is lovely and soft, but again, a lot cheaper. Having said that, I'm not sure if the price of this is... No, it's £2.50. I think it might have been £2 when I first bought it, but it's £2.50 now for a skein. So it is cheaper by a little way, but it depends what you want. So that again is a couple of examples of what you can get something a little bit cheaper to make. So I was going to show you my James C. Brett Flutterby, which I've got a lot of, and don't know where it is, so I've lost it. But the thing is, a lot of places have been selling that chenille velvety yarn, especially baby, and a lot of them leave a lot to be desired. I mean, I did get some of the original stuff from Aldi when they had it in. Very rough. Well, not rough, that's the wrong word. Sturdy, very sturdy yarn. A lot of drape to it. But the James C. Brett is obviously willowy and soft and baby yarn. Now this one is the Trim Velvet Touch, and it's 100 gram knitting yarn. So obviously they don't give you chunky, super chunky. I'd say it's a super chunky, super bulky in the US, but it's just like James C. Brett in as much as that it is really drapey, lovely and soft. So you get 100 meters, 100% polyester and machine washable, which can't be bad. And it's called white, even though it's not, it's cream. I guess they figured they'd done cream to death and they really didn't call another one cream, but it's not white, you know, it's definitely cream. If I hold this up, you can see. So I also bought it in grey, and it's lovely. It's really, really nice. It's lovely and soft. I did have a couple of balls of this somewhere already, so I've got more to add to it. And again, it's £2.50, so that's a bargain. James C. Brett Flutterby is a lot more than that, but this is a very, very good equivalent. I only wish I could show you it, but I have it somewhere, you know, somewhere safe. One of those safe places. They call this one just grey. Dimensions wise, exactly the same. 100% polyester, machine warm wash, and 100 meters. But absolutely phenomenal value at £2.50 per skein. The only thing is, if I had a ball of Flutterby handy, there was some here. I've had a sort out since, but there was some, and I could show you how much is on a skein. That's the only thing that would negate the higher price being more expensive, if you know what I mean. But I don't know where it's gone. I've lost it. It's because I haven't used it for a long time. Under here I do have an awful lot, and I mean an awful lot, of Aldi chenille. Last year they brought out a baby one, which was beautiful. It had a beautiful sheen to it. Like, this has got quite a sheen, but theirs was a real silky sheen. They brought lemon and they brought white, and I did make a blanket. It was the baby bubble blanket, and I did a variation of it in the chunky. So on that tutorial you will see it, but it was absolutely gorgeous. But there wasn't a great deal on each ball because of it. So this is actually pretty close, I would say, to James C. Brett Flutterby. Nice, soft, squishy and drapey. So you can, if you shop around, get a few bargains, because it's £2.50. You can't really go wrong. But just to make sure though, when you're shopping in B&M, it's not always the best place, because as you saw, with the fluffy yarn, paying that little tiny bit extra, get an awful lot more. So it's not a saving, and it is identical yarn. So that's it. That's what I got today. I hope you like that. And it's just a small little haul, but as I was buying it, and before I bought it, I was looking at it on the shelves, and I thought, that's really, you can contrast that, like this one with this. And this is obviously by far better value than buying this. It's identical. And this is far better value, even though it's £1 more than this, because it is far better value. So just shop around, make sure, don't rush in. Always look and contrast, because you know what you're thinking you're getting a real bargain, you're actually getting an awful lot less yarn on there. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.